Over the last few years I spent a lot of time on myself and decluttering and following a minimalist journey, and as I've done that I have found so many tips and tricks about how to improve my daily life and make life easier, happier, healthier, and I'm going to share those with you now. Hi, my name's Rachel. I do videos about decluttering, minimalism and my no spend year, and today I have got several daily habits that you can do to improve your life that are really short, quick, easy to do. Because of various different reasons, I have been on a bit of a self-care journey. I have looked at different things to make myself feel happier, to deal with breakups, to understand who I am as a person, and I've done various different things over the last few years that have really made a difference to my daily life, and I think they're really powerful and they can absolutely transform your life. They came into my life for very different reasons, so I'll share that with you as we go along. First up is the 1 minute rule. Anything that takes a minute or less, you should get in the habit of doing straight away. Try not to leave it, try not to think, oh, I'll do that later, because all those little jobs add up and then you find that you have got a bigger tidying up job or a bigger cleaning job to do because you didn't just do it as you go. And those 1 minute jobs are really easy to just do as you go. So it's like when you're cooking and you put the dish on the side because you're about to eat. Well, actually it wouldn't take long to quickly rinse through that in the sink and get it cleaned up and washed up before you start eating, like that, or at least let it soak and then wash it up straight after eating. It's those kind of things that make things a little bit easier, because by the time you've finished eating and you've had your pudding, you're kind of thinking, I'm done now. And that's kind of how I am, because I struggle with chronic fatigue, that I just have lost all my energy by that point. The day has gone through, I've been exhausted from work, I'm exhausted from cooking dinner, and I am done. So anything that can make my life a little bit easier, I try and do, just so that I am keeping on top of things and not letting things pile up. If I see something on the side and I know it needs to be put away, I won't just put it near the area or on the stairs to go up, I will take it up, because it is much easier to get the job done than to have it sat on the stairs and then keep forgetting to take it up. So I try and do all those little things. It kind of ties into the second rule, which is touch things only once. So when you get something out, you use it, and when you touch it to disconnect it, like a cable for example, you just put it straight away. You put it away in its home, in its place, so that you don't then have to try and come back to it and then do it. When post comes through the letterbox, when you pick it up, you need to deal with it straight away. That's the touch things only once rule. You are dealing with it as soon as you touch it for the first time. So you get that post, you need to action anything you need to action, and you need to recycle anything that you don't want. So knowing that you have dealt with those things straight away does make it easier, because then you've not created other to-dos on your list. You've kind of already done them. So make sure you're actioning things as soon as you touch them or as soon as you see them. Another daily habit that I'm trying to implement is some gentle exercise every day. I've watched lots of programs about the blue zones and how to be a centenarian you kind of need to do various different things, and one of the key things for a healthy lifestyle is gentle exercise. It didn't have to be running, it didn't have to be extenuous exercise, it just needs to be gentle exercise, but for an hour. So I kind of count that when I'm at work I do get that gentle exercise. I'm in quite a big school, so I'm moving around a lot and I'm getting a lot of steps in, so I feel like that kind of covers my gentle exercise. But on my days off I try and get a walk in and make sure that I'm active in some way, so that I'm not just sat down and not moving for the day. It's really important that you do it regularly and often, daily if you can. So a good hour of gentle exercise. Yoga is a great one if you're wanting something that's housebound, but just making sure that you're active. It might be that that's a particularly active day at home where you try and do lots of tidying or clearing, because that's still being active, because that's no different from doing gentle gardening in the backyard, because that is something that is gentle. It's very similar. You're kneeling down, picking things up, moving things around, very similar to kind of tidying and decluttering. So gentle exercise either within the home or outside. Outside is obviously better because you get that fresh air and you get that kind of connection with nature, and it allows you to kind of take things in, which is always really good. If you like my video so far, don't forget to subscribe down below and press the bell for notifications so you know when my next videos are coming up. My next one is to practice gratitude, and I know people have this kind of like love-hate kind of relationship with this. They don't always appreciate the benefits of it. I think making it a chore and doing it as something that you have to do every day in a written form can be too much, and that can take away from the purpose of it. I don't need to look back at my previous gratitudes, I just need to know what today's gratitude are. So I kind of weave it into a bit of an activity that we're already doing, where it's obviously sometimes quite a mundane activity, like on car journeys. That tends to be when me and my son will have the conversation about what you're thankful for today, what you're grateful for, what did you spot in nature. It's one of the early help for mental health daily 10 is to connect with nature. It's to think about what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for, how you've connected with people. So we kind of do those things. So we're grateful for like our connections that we have. We're grateful for having a nice slice of pizza for lunch, or we're grateful for having a roof over our heads. Those kind of things. It doesn't have to be big things. It can be anything you like. It can be small, like you're thankful that somebody smiled at you this morning. Anything is a gratitude like that. It's just something that you're thankful for and that you appreciate. And when you spot those little things, it helps you to appreciate a lot more the bigger things in life. It makes things become put into perspective. It just helps you to think a little bit clearly about general stresses and worries. It helps you to regulate a little bit more because you have got that gratitude in place. The next thing that I do is cold showers, and this is something that I've done based on some research when I've been looking into chronic fatigue and how I can improve circulation and improve my energy levels. And cold showers, a bit like the ice baths that people do, is really meant to be beneficial for you. It kind of does a little kickstart to your body, to your system, and you only need to have maybe 30 seconds of your shower to be cold and ice cold. So I literally have a normal shower, and then when I finish my hair, when I've got the conditioner and I'm taking it off, I do that under cold water to start with. So I just turn it to as cold as it can go, and I'll rinse out the conditioner because then that kind of is good for the health of your hair. And then I just let it sit on the back of my neck and let it run down and let it go on full power, and it really can make a huge difference to how I feel. It makes me feel a bit more energized. Like, I always get funny about showers are one of those things when you've got chronic fatigue that it takes energy to do, and I do feel the benefit of doing the cold shower. Next, I want to talk about a habit that I'm trying to kind of put back in place is daily reading. It doesn't have to be lots. It doesn't have to be chapters at a time. If you can only manage a paragraph or a page, that is equally as good. And it just kind of encourages your brain to kind of slow down at the end of the day, or just to take in some new information. And it's almost like a bit of an escapism, which I love. I love escapism in books. So daily reading is something that has really helped me to kind of gain perspectives, to have time out, to switch off, to kind of immerse myself in a different world. And it really does kind of ground me. It sounds a bit weird, but I also do other kind of reading as well. I don't just do fiction. I might read articles, or I might read journals about particular studies. So reading around a topic that you're interested in is kind of like everyday learning, isn't it? And if you're somebody that enjoys that, it's going to be a good habit for you to do, and you might already be doing it already. But it is a nice way of kind of keeping in touch with things and keeping your brain active as well. So it does get me thinking, it does get my brain motivated and thinking about things, which can be hard when you've got chronic fatigue. I get a lot of brain fog and I mess up my wording, so getting my brain active is really important for me. My next daily habit is I have set my body clock, and that means I have the same wake up and same bedtime every day. I try not to deviate too much from that. It really helps me to regulate my sleep pattern and my fatigue, so it means that I have a natural wake up before my alarm goes off. And one thing I've put into that routine now, which I really should get a proper sunrise alarm clock, but what I do is I have my first alarm go off, and then I put the lamp on so that I get a bit of a dull kind of small light, and I close my eyes again for another 5 minutes till the next alarm goes off, and then I try and wake up properly. So it kind of gives my body a chance to kind of have some light, especially in these dark mornings. I find it really difficult. It's like the winter blues, isn't it, when you kind of struggle to get up in the morning. But I find the dark really hard, and this has really done like a little kickstart without having to buy the lamp. But it's working for me at the minute. If I find that it's not working as I go through the winter months, then I will look at getting a sunrise alarm. But having that same wake up and same bedtime is really good for regulating my sleep. It means that I fall asleep really quickly, and I also wake up before my alarm, which is actually really helpful for my body clock. My next daily habit, and I will admit I find this one really difficult, is to not complain but find a solution. So I used to be somebody that complained all the time, not because of any particular reason. I think it's just easier to moan about things, isn't it, and nag and do those kind of things. But I kind of now think about, okay, what's my solution? Because anytime I complain, that's not getting anything changed. All that changes is my mental health. It deteriorates because I'm moaning so much, or thinking negatively about things. And as soon as you start thinking about solution focus, it actually motivates you to work through those feelings, those emotions that are connected to this negative thing that's happening. And I find that much more constructive. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still complain. There are times it happens. But I'm also very much focused in on, okay, well, that's my problem. Is there anything that I can do as a solution to resolve that issue, to make it feel better? Or is it something that I need to let go? So I try not to hang on to those complaints or those negative feelings. I try and think about whether or not it's worth me worrying about, or whether or not I need to just work on a solution and sort it out. There's no point sitting there complaining and not doing anything about it. My next daily habit is to make sure that I've connected with somebody. This goes into the Early Help for Mental Health Daily 10 as well. Connecting with somebody is really important. Again, it's thinking about perspective, but it's also checking in on somebody else. Thinking about somebody else helps you to understand and regulate your own thoughts and feelings, etc. So I always try and make sure I connect with either me and my son. Will try and make sure that we have a good connection at some point that day, that we talk about something meaningful, or we just have a laugh and have a joke about something. And I will also try and check in with like a friend or two and make sure they're okay and see what's going on. And it just helps me kind of build my community. I think it's so easy for me. I'm not one for big crowds or anything like that. So one-to-one connection is kind of where I'm at. That's my comfort zone. So I always try and check in with people on an individual level so that I'm continually working on my relationships, my friendships, etc. My next daily habit is to think about one thing at a time. So it's kind of avoiding multitasking. It's thinking about just the activity that you need to do. I think although women in general tend to be good at multitasking, I think there's a reason why men don't do it. There's benefits to not multitasking. I think you can really focus in, you can really do a good job when you are focused in on just one thing. I think when we try and do several things at the same time, we don't always put our full effort in. It doesn't always become an efficient way of doing something. It could take you longer because you're dipping in and out rather than just putting your head in the game and getting that job done. So there are benefits to doing things just one thing at a time. So think about when that is most helpful for you. My next daily habit is to daily declutter. this takes the pressure of trying to do big amounts of decluttering. If you are overwhelmed and you just don't know where to start, one little daily habit that you can do is find maybe one thing to declutter every day. It could be as you're cooking, you just have a look at your utensils and think, I don't use that one. Off it goes. As you're getting some food containers out, it could be that you pick out one and you know you don't have the lid to this one. That one can go. It's just thinking about things as you're using them, as you're moving around your home, and just thinking, do I really need it? Is it something that I utilise? Is it something that I use? Or is it something that I avoid using, or I don't like, doesn't fit, doesn't work, isn't working? Think about the items as you go around your home, but just decluttering a little bit at a time can really be beneficial. The less stuff you have, like, the more beneficial it will be for your environment. I think so much can be said for tidy space, tidy mind, that actually if you've got less stuff, it's less to tidy, less to deal with, less overwhelming. Think of that as a way of getting started with decluttering. My next daily habit is to set reminders on my phone. I do this for most of my key things that are happening, because if I don't, I have no idea what day it is, what date it is, who I'm meant to be meeting or what, and that's purely due to chronic fatigue. I just don't have the capacity to remember everything and to know when things happen. There are so many things that I end up missing because I haven't scheduled them in. So as soon as I book tickets for events or meals out with people, I schedule it in my phone and then I know that it will happen. And it means that I don't double book myself. I think that's what I'm more guilty of, is double booking because I've forgotten to put it in my daily reminder on my phone. So getting that in really helps me to manage activities, and also I know then I can spread things out. I know not to overschedule my week so that I can manage my fatigue levels. So it's a great way of keeping on top of energy levels and making sure that you are able to manage what's going on, because there's no point in scheduling everything under the sun in 1 week of your life and then having nothing to do for the rest. So spread things out means that you have something to look forward to, something exciting to do, and yeah, I find that really helpful as a way of keeping track. I do have a physical diary as well, but I don't carry that around with me. I carry my phone. So I always put it in there as my first point of call. And my last daily habit, I don't do this one daily, I do this one monthly, but automating my savings to come straight out after I've been paid, when I know how much I've got left over, after bills, after my spend amount. I automate that straight into savings and investments, because if I keep it in my account, I will spend it. And it's so easy to just think, oh, I'll just get this with the money, I'll just get this. And you end up not actually saving. If you wait to the end of the month, you will not save nearly as much as if you put it in at the beginning of the month. So that is my beginning of the month activity, that I just check in with my money as to how much I need to do, and I automate how much is going to go to different savings accounts. So there are my daily habits that I do that can really improve your life and make 2024 your year. And I think they are really helpful in just kind of taking the pressure off, just keeping on top of things when life can be really busy, and actually those little daily habits can really impact on improving your quality of life and taking away some of those pressures. So let me know how you get on with those down below, and I should be back for more videos soon. Take care, bye.